when everybody's up and running, and we will. All right, you could all rise if you're able to. What? Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yeah. All right, good evening. We will get rolling. We have a full council tonight that takes care of our roll call. First up is gonna be public comment for items not on the agenda. If you're wishing to comment tonight, please keep your comments within 3 minutes, address them to me. We will not do a back and forth with the council. And that's all I have. Do we have anybody that would like to speak to something not? Okay, excellent. Anybody online? Seeing that, we will roll down from that to Jen, you're up.
All right, great. The highway department took down a dead tree on Bennett Lot Road. They replaced sod in the worn out spots on the ball fields, and the no parking signs on Paul Street have been put up. They also have been doing some repairs to Great Works Drive. The police department had 4 arrests, 6 accidents, 198 traffic stops. Chief Ruger and Ewan McGann have been chosen to speak at the inauguration of the social workers in the police department at the National Association Social Workers Conference in October. National Night Out is on August 4th from 5 to 7 here in Stewtown Park. The fire department had 34 calls in the last 2 weeks, which is 342 year to date, with 4 occurrences overlapping or multiple calls at the same time. Firefighters associated with the South Berwick Fire Department worked with the VFW with a for a family event for the crew at the USS Washington, and that was held on Friday, July 17th. Code enforcement had 15 building permits, 4 plumbing permits, and 11 inspections in the last 2 weeks. Planning and economic development, we had mentioned this last time, but on July 14th, Jeff and I met with the Department of Transportation regarding the traffic lights going in downtown. And we have a tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, October 6th, from 5 to 7 here at the Community Center for an open house and a public meeting about those traffic lights. Venture Forward programs, the dates have been set with 13 businesses participating, and the kickoff of that program will be on August 13th at the Root Institute. Brittany Spencer's first day back was yesterday, and we're glad to have her back on the team. At the transfer station, we are still looking for part-time on-call attendants. And just as a public notice, we need to be aware for lithium batteries. These must be recycled. Please be mindful, ask an attendant if you don't know where to put it, ask for assistance. These can be a danger and fire hazard. The library in the last 2 weeks had 1,560 visitors. 16 programs that had 165 people in attendance. And they are, as a reminder, we have 2 e-bikes that are available for rent. We have them through the middle of September. The recreation department summer camp will be heading to the Portland Sea Dogs tomorrow. We hope that the rain holds off for them. And all the playground proposals are actually hanging here in the hallway. There is 6. One company actually put in 2 different options. And Nikki's going to be visiting some nearby playgrounds these companies have done and talk to some references, and we will bring that to the August 11th council meeting to finalize. The seniors on Wednesday, the 29th, will have the Department of Motor Vehicles coming in to do a lunch and learn on safe driving. The assessing department has finished evaluation numbers as of April 1st, 2026. She gave me those final numbers on Thursday, so now I have started to work on the tax rate calculation and getting mill rate options ready. Town clerk's office had 240 motor vehicle transactions in the last 2 weeks, 8 vital records, and 11 notarial acts. In finance department, we had 60 tax club applications go out to the people who were enrolled in the program last year. As I mentioned, I'm working on mill rate options. Those will be for us to decide on August 11th. And I continue to work on month-end reconciliations, analysis of accounts, and closing out fiscal year 26. I also had 4 interviews for an executive assistant to replace Dawn. We had hired a candidate and on a Thursday, and we came into an email, unfortunately, the following Monday, where she had changed her mind for personal reasons. So that's unfortunate. We have now decided to hold off on hiring the admin position until a new town manager has been appointed. Dawn's last day will be next Wednesday on August 5th. And on the town hall update, things are moving forward as scheduled. Charters Brothers took delivery of the windows last Friday on the 24th. We are working on finalizing the audio and visual for the meeting rooms, council chambers, and the auditorium. And also, we are working on finalizing the key system and master preferences, and painting is gonna start on the first floor this week. So that's exciting. Things are moving forward. And that's all. I have.
Excellent, thank you. Any questions for the town manager?
Yeah, Jen, so. Not having an executive assistant seems like. A burden. I mean, is that,
It's gonna make it more difficult, yes.
I guess I'm just wondering about waiting until a new town manager comes on board or. Whatever we decide to do there, because that could be a number of months.
I know. Dawn has been with us for almost 5 years, so she's very familiar with all the different things that she's been doing with all the different departments. And to have someone new coming in and to take the time to train someone. Unfortunately, with the audit coming up, I don't have that time to give. And I feel like maybe just being in that trailer by quiet by myself, I'll just get more done.
Okay,
I will revisit it if we need to, for sure.
we can always possibly look into a temp service for work that you just needed for just staff work. We have the budget, so. if
Yes, we
you need
do.
a temp.
Yeah.
Get a temp.
Thank you for the reminder.
Thank you, Chair. Maggie Raymond, Sewell Road. Jen, I was wondering if you have a resolution yet on the claim with Oak Point.
We do not.
Okay, also, I'm still looking for those minutes of the Historic District Commission. I asked about.
We're working on that, correct? Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, moving on from there, we'll go to the approval of minutes. We will, first one up is active transportation plan workshop minutes from June 30th, 2026.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Second. We have a motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote, Sam?
Aye.
Joel? Aye. Mallory?
Aye.
Paul? Aye. I vote aye also, motion passes 5-0. Moving down to town council minutes of July 14th, 2026. I'll make a motion to accept these minutes from July 14th, 2026 as written.
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, Sam?
Aye.
Paul? Aye. Joel?
Aye.
Mallory?
Aye.
I vote aye also, that motion passes 5-0. Moving down to the first treasurer's warrant for fiscal year 2026. I think it's
51.
I'll make a motion to accept the treasurer's warrant or sign the treasurer's warrant, I'm sorry. The amount of $882,586.07 dated 7/23/2026.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, any discussion?
We have a big payment on this to Charters Brothers, because the billing started to come through from Charters Brothers for the town hall project.
That's just over 637,000 of the 882.
All right, and seeing no other discussion, Sam?
Aye.
Joel? Aye. Paul? Aye. Mallory?
Aye.
I vote aye also, motion passes 5-0. Moving on to the second. Budget, yeah. Sorry. Second warrant, in the amount of $208,071.61 dated July 23rd, 2026.
Yeah.
Have a motion and a second, any discussion on that one? Hearing none, Sam?
Aye.
Paul? Aye. Joel? Aye. Mallory?
Aye.
I vote aye also, that motion passes 5-0. Any reports and presentations tonight?
Not tonight.
All right. Moving down to the first unfinished business, board and committee reappointments.
After our prior
2 meetings. We had one more person reach out to be reappointed to the Downtown Revitalization Advisory Committee. And her opposed term would be until 2027.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to reappoint Jacqueline Bousquet to the Downtown Revitalization Advisory Committee for a 1-year term expiring June 30th, 2027.
Second, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Joel? Aye. Mallory?
Aye.
Sam?
Aye.
Paul? Aye. I vote aye also. Motion passes 5-0.
Are those just 1-year terms? They're,
For the committees.
I think for revitalization. It was, we did it in like year chunks.
okay.
Next line item 2691, planning board applicant for Laura Eaton. We did an interview at our last meeting, so I will make that motion to appoint Laura Eaton to the planning board. What is her,
To be an alternate.
an alternate and the term? Ending in,
The term would be ending in 2027, I believe. She's finishing off the current term.
okay,
I'll second.
motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, Sam?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Joel?
Aye.
Mallory?
Aye.
I vote aye also, motion passes 5-0. Thank you, Ms. Eaton, for applying. We love it when we fill out boards, especially with alternates. Moving down to 2666. Town hall budget update by Dovetail, are they on?
They are not, they will be here either in person or on Zoom every other meeting, so I can read through Andy's updates. They have revised the format, the first sheets state the budget and now also allocate each budget line item to the funding source so that we can see what source is allocated for each vendor. And the projected balances that are remaining, he just simplified the form a little bit, updated vendor payments. Updated the change order contingency statements per Carter Brothers logs and reformatting them to align in order with the format of the change requests from CDC. Updated the bond interest, which is wonderful news. The interest continues to accumulate quicker than expected. As you see, the last Charter Brothers invoice of the over 600,000 is much bigger than we've seen in the past. So I think we'll start to see that interest go down a little bit from there. And the Charters Brothers descriptions of all of the change requests have been attached as well for you to review. There are a lot of change orders, but the costs are very minimal when you look at the bottom line. So, and this is just informational for you. If you had any questions.
Anybody?
There was, Mr. Chair, there was, early on in the project Dovetail, when we issued their $100,000 not to exceed, we were sort of going through it at a rate that would have anticipated us to run out of it. I'm wondering if their invoices have slowed down such that we are gonna stay under that, or if we should expect a little more from them.
I don't know if we'll make it with the full 100,000. The last invoice we got from them was just over 8,000. So it has slowed down
Yeah.
because it was running around 12.
Yeah. That was my only question. Thank you.
All right, moving down to 2676, new town manager RFP interview discussion. So last week we did interviews with 3 separate companies, MGT Impact Solutions, Municipal Resources Incorporated, and Pracademic Partners. They were good interviews with all 3 of them. They all had good aspects. And that's what our second executive session was today, to decide on who we would like to pick so we can move forward in getting a request out to look for potential candidates for our town manager. Anybody have any thoughts, want to discuss anything?
I would just say thank you to each of them for their time, and it was a difficult decision, and that although we'll only be selecting one, I really appreciated all of them, and it was a tough decision for that now.
It was, they all had good selling points. So.
Yeah,
I would make a motion to approve MRI as our for our town manager search.
Second,
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Sam?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Joel?
Abstain.
Mallory?
Aye.
I vote aye also. Motion passes 4 with 1 abstention. Just in case the town is wondering, Joel wasn't there. He did watch everything, but he was not there during the interviews. All right, moving down to new business.
Mr. Chair, I had sent an email related to discussing the, selection committee. I'm wondering if that's something we wanna do now, or
It is on the agenda.
I can give a brief sort of overview and then, or if we wanna table it to another meeting. I don't think time is of the essence at this moment in time.
my two cents, I would love to, like, perhaps maybe have a conversation with. MRI kind of about it and like the best way to do it, like, I absolutely think it's something that we should plan to discuss, but. At least that's my 2 cents, I'd love to engage with the search firm on.
That fit with you?
Sounds good to me. Yeah.
Okay. Do we wanna outline for folks what the idea was, or do we wanna wait?
Basically during, there was discussion related to, this was during the interview process. Since there is an election coming up and this process is likely to roll close to it, if not over into the next, term, or, after John and Mallory, are gone, there was discussion surrounding who the selection committee should be. Should the departing counselors be included? Should the future counselors, whomever gets selected, be included? And it seemed that it was feasible that any of those combinations were possible. So I suggested that we have a discussion about who we want it to be, so that when it comes to that time, we're have that ironed out.
And that was actually brought up by, we actually discussed that with all 3 of these businesses that we interviewed, and they all thought it would be a good idea to have the outgoing 2, if it fit, be advisors. Obviously, either one of us would have a vote, because you'd have 5 new counselors at that point, if it's after November, but to bring us on, just because Mallory's been here 9 years, I've been here 12 years, and we've been through this process. So I will gladly hang out and help, but like I said, we'll go. I said gladly, with a smile. So we'll work with that when we get with MRI for the first time.
Can I just add one thing? Last time when you hired Tim, I thought it was really nice that some of the key staff was involved in,
Yeah.
in their interview as well.
That was also brought up with all 3 of these groups, and they all agreed with it, and public input.
Chair, Maggie Raymond again. What is the timeline that we have laid out for hiring manager?
We're motivated to move as quickly as we can, like, we've kind of, somewhere we can dig up some like high level milestones, but we're on track with the schedule. We had aimed to make the selection this evening to select the firm that we wanna work with, so we're on track with our original schedule.
Or you think it's gonna go beyond the election?
I think we have to mentally prepare ourselves if that could happen.
It took Kittery 2.5 years to hire theirs. Yeah, just as a backstory, it took Kittery 2.5 years. The pool, and again, just the pool, in talking to these companies, one of the companies, their pool for town manager candidates years past were 200 or 300 applicants. Their pool now for town manager applicants are 20 to 30. The younger folks just don't wanna do it. There's a lot more lucrative jobs out there, and they don't wanna deal with the headaches, so. It could be to pick the right manager, it might take us past November. We're just trying to plan for that to get the best for it. Okay.
I mean, they did give us a 12-week window. I think that was, Sam's got it there. Usually optimistic, I think, but
Very best.
that's what we would like to see.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, on the, proposal from Municipal Resources, it's page 13, where they lay out their time.
12 weeks starting in
Meetings, it starts with meetings with council and designees.
Yeah. So. Cross our fingers, we get a great candidate right off the bat, and we might have one just sitting close by. moving on from that, we will go to new business, 26-109. New police vehicle from CIP, page 124. Do we have anybody in the audience that would like to speak about that? No?
We are currently trying to purchase a F-150 pickup truck. It'll be utilized for the supervisors and we need a pickup truck. And every time we go to the range, our stanchions for the targets, et cetera, do not fit into our SUVs because nowadays we have just too much equipment in it. And being that they're 7 feet long or 6 feet long, they just don't fit in the back of those SUVs anymore. So what we're trying to do is utilize a pickup truck. It is pursuit rated as well. It's 4-door, short bed, and it's gonna have a cover on the back that's gonna be weatherproof. Plus it's also gonna have storage in the back as well. And on top of that storage, it's capable of holding 1,000 to 2,000 pounds, so. That's what we're looking to purchase.
And this was in the budget to purchase a new police vehicle this year, and
Yeah.
was it not?
So it's actually, if I was gonna go the Tahoe route, we're looking at least $9,000 more than what the pickup truck is. If we go with a pickup truck, we could save the taxpayers some money and get us a cheaper vehicle in price, but it's gonna be utilized for the same reasons.
Less expensive, cheaper sounds bad.
You know, they've proven themselves, Berwick has one, all these agencies all around this all have, them, so.
And we're proposing a 4-year lease at 5.85% interest rate with annual cost of $20,582, which is fully equipped at that point. In the budget, we had an amount of $25,000 per year in the CIP for the police equipment.
So
And
I'm sorry, is the lease, I mean, is it like a car lease where you get a certain number, a certain number of miles per
No.
year?
No, it doesn't.
no,
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of like
it's a loan.
it's a loan, it's a 4-year loan, you pay one payment a year and then it's yours at the end.
Yeah.
With all the equipment,
Yeah, it's a lease, but it's not always.
Yeah.
You can't return
it's a municipal lease.
it. I'm gonna make the motion to allow the Eastern Town Manager to sign a lease with Haverstock Bank for a 4-year term at 5.85% interest. Cover the cost of an F-150 from Cork Auto and to be outfitted by Evo. Be paid out of the police CIP account for our approved fiscal 27 budget.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Really wish it was a Ram. Moving on from that. Ben?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Joel? Valerie?
Aye.
I vote aye also. Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you, Chief.
I assume it's gonna be black?
Yes.
Okay.
But
I don't want any more different color cars.
I am putting graphics on it, so we'll be visible.
No, that's fine. I don't want any different color cars. I'm getting used to black police cars again.
And the other black car that was a blank slate is now it's all marked up now.
Next. Thank you. Moving on to 26-110, planning board applicant. Caleb Whiting Grant. I'm assuming we're going to do an interview?
So this person is applying for, or is interested in the planning board, but we just filled the planning board, correct? Now we have every seat full, which is the first time that's happened in a while. I think my inclination is, oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, on the second part where it says staff recommendation, if 26-91 is approved, we can go ahead and do as you wish. But if it's not approved, they can go ahead and fill the vacant seats, but you did approve it.
Mr. Chair, can I provide a suggestion?
I would love one.
That we reach, or that the town or clerk reach out to them and see if they're interested in at least the ZBA or just probably next closest, then it's, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I'm good with that. Get them on.
Yeah, encouraging them to apply at any other board. Got lots of openings.
Is that part of our normal procedure that we provide a recommendation for another one? Or anything else?
Yeah.
Not just the
Yeah.
town council.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I guess I wouldn't, specifying that was just my own opinion. I think any vacancy would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, well,
we don't need to go there now, but I know the comprehensive plan implementation committee is also looking for members, but I'll bring that up in your comments here.
All right, then, so we'll move to 2611 Conservation Commission applicant Evelina Murphy. We want to schedule a interview for the next.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to schedule an interview with Evelina Murphy, for the Conservation Commission. On Tuesday, August 11th at 5:45 p.m. here at the community center.
Second. Motion and a second, any conversation, hearing none, Sam? Aye. Paul? Aye. Joe? Aye. Mallory?
I
I vote aye also, the motion passes 5-0. Down to 26-112. Municipal procurement policy ad hoc committee application. So we have someone that is interested, we have his resume in front of us. Same thing, set up an interview. First meeting, our next meeting is our first meeting in August.
Mr. Chair, the applicants in the audience, I'm wondering if we should, confirm that date. Whatever.
Well, I suppose that would be convenient.
Would you join us at 5:30 on the 11th?
August? Yes, absolutely. That was easy. 5:30, here, why don't we just, here.
I'll go ahead and just make a motion to schedule an interview with Anthony Palazetti at 5:30 p.m. on 8/11 here at the community center for the municipal procurement ad hoc policy.
Okay, I'll second that one. Motion in a second. Any discussion? Thank you, Sam. Sam?
Aye.
Paul? Aye. Joel?
Aye.
Mallory?
Aye.
I vote aye also. That motion passes 5-0. We need to schedule a public hearing for proposed amendments. Chapter 140 zoning ordinances regarding accessory dwelling units, ADUs. When do we want to schedule that one?
We can do either August 11th or.
I'd ask you if we had a big agenda on the 11th, but you don't know yet because we're nowhere near.
That's correct.
We do have the, final presentation from,
Yeah.
PhD.
And
In that case, let's move it to the next one.
And we also. John, were we gonna do an impact fee thing too, or were they coming
That
back?
got postponed.
That got postponed?
Yeah.
Okay.
So move it to the second one in August.
We'll do that.
the
The 25th.
All right, I'll make a motion to move that public hearing to August 25th. 6 o'clock here, bless you, 6 o'clock here for chapter 140 zoning for accessory dwelling units.
second.
Motion in a second. Sam?
Aye.
Paul? Aye. Joel? Aye. Mallory? I vote aye also. That motion passes 5-0. All right, down to 26-114 data centers. Is there anybody in the public that would like to speak on this subject? Hearing none.
We had 2 spaces that we needed to fill in. July 14th was the last time we spoke about it. That'd be my recommendation for that in that light. And then. From Ben, the town's attorney, he's recommending anything over 100,000 square feet for a data center. Be put on the memorandum. Because typically they are. You know, 1 million square feet. When we do these big data centers, so not, compromising us, an area that might have a bigger server room in a business.
Sorry, go ahead, Mike.
I just, a procedural question for moratoria, we need to hold public hearings, correct, in order to adopt these? But I'm just trying to remember back when we had the moratoria for marijuana.
It just takes 30 days to go into.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's why they do the moratorium.
I would think it'll need to have a public hearing because it is an order.
Yeah, I remember there were many steps that we had to get through to like enacting the moratorium,
I do believe we have to have a public hearing.
and I also. once we enact a moratorium, then like the clock starts ticking for us to put the appropriate performance standards in place. And so I think that's just something we need to be very cognizant of and make sure that we are building into our prioritization to do the necessary work to the necessary work that we'll have to do because we have enacted a moratorium.
Right.
I mean, I think if you get 180, probably from the date of moratorium. I think you can extend it for another one.
But you have to have like a very good reason.
You can, yes, and section 5 talks about the retroactive application duration, and this is going back to the first time we discussed it. That's what led me to believe not think we needed a public hearing, but I can definitely ask, because it can be retroactive back to the first time we started talking about it.
Yes.
So, if the council chooses, we can fill in these and schedule a public hearing.
Then do you foresee having the planning board do the ordinance itself? Or, I mean, I don't know if you've chatted with Jeff or whether. I wanna make sure it's in their work, you know, that.
Of course. Yes, I'll
That they're
definitely
ready for it.
want to see how this went, and then go back to Jack and put the motions forward for that, yeah, starting that 180-day clock, like Alex said.
Speaker, let me make a comment.
Sir?
I don't recall, I generally support this idea. I don't recall us having a council discussion formally about whether there was consensus among us as to whether this is something we wanted. I know it had been brought up by Councilman Martin, as something of interest to him. I don't recall our agenda, us actually discussing that.
I mentioned it in comments.
Can we receive?
Under comments,
Yeah.
Was not.
So I just don't, I wanna make sure we're not missing a step here.
I mean, I think we have it on our agenda this evening, so I think it's a good opportunity for us to discuss it. I feel like this is something that's incredibly important for the state of Maine to put regulations around these things. I think that I just wanna, I'm very interested in us being super clear on what clock starts ticking and what steps need to start happening as soon as we kind of sign this and make sure that we're all super clear on, I've said this already, make sure that we're all super clear on that. And I believe that, it would primarily be the planning board's responsibility to we would need to draft some form of charge to the planning board, giving them some specifics around what it is that we are looking for them to compose. That would be an ordinance that would be ready for us to enact at the end of the moratorium.
And you guys did vote on it on the last meeting. Council Schumacher expressed interest on a motion, the Council Schumacher seconded by James. Was voted on majority to have staff work on a draft moratorium.
Okay. But we, just for the purposes of, because of this retroactiveness, I wanna make sure. If we had to have a discussion and then have this consensus that this was something we wanted, so.
Of course.
So it sounds like next steps is we are gonna confirm the public hearing. If we need a public hearing, and then maybe we can have this on our next agenda to revisit after we know that information.
Yeah, we can set the date for the public hearing if we need one. If not, we can work on a charge for planning board.
Do we want to fill in the blanks with the 100,000 square feet in July 14th, or do we have other ideas?
I'm good with those.
I'm fine with that.
With 100,
100,000.
so it would only apply for data centers over 100.
No.
Yes.
All right. City Chair, is it good?
Tony Pelizetti, Meadow Pond Road. Would it be appropriate to charge the planning board, let the planning board go through the process, which would all likely could include a public hearing before the council preempts that with your own public hearing?
They have to have one and we'd have to have another one anyway if it's ordinance. So we still have to do
Understood. I just wondered about the timing. Who goes first?
Well, I think we're talking about a public hearing for the moratorium,
Okay,
not
not the order.
well, for sure, we'll need that one.
Okay, all right, thank you.
And I'm trying to remember the whole marijuana thing,
Yeah,
but it's very leaky.
Yeah, we had a lot of moratorium.
Jen, your advice on it, the whole goal of doing it this way is that it prevents anything coming in until the planning board can do the full analysis of. Can we support it? Do we have the space? Do we have the utilities? All of that.
So yes, the moratorium is just a 180-day pause.
Yes.
And it can be extended once, but that's it.
But it's also, that's.
But that's it, there's only, yeah, that's it.
You have to show that you're working on it.
Yeah. Week, this was painful with marijuana.
Yes, it was.
All right, moving down to 26115. Liquor license renewal for Happy.
Sorry, are we adding
Oh,
that to our next agenda for, is there an action to be taken?
staff has to find out if we need a public hearing,
Okay, so,
then they'll add it to the
All right.
agenda.
Yes.
Sorry.
no, you're fine.
Yes, back down to liquor license renewal for Happy Valley LLC.
Same.
Mr. Chair.
I will move that we accept the liquor license for Happy Valley LLC. Their business in good standing. There have been no issues reported from the fire or the police department.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? I do have one question for the potential business owner. No outdoor amusement permit?
I spoke with the operations person about that earlier today and advised them that they should submit it.
Thank you. Okay, so we will vote on the liquor license tonight and look forward to the outdoor entertainment coming up next. So I have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Yeah. I see.
Okay, motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing no more. Paul?
Aye.
Joel?
Aye.
Mallory?
Aye.
I vote aye also. Motion passes 4-0, 1 abstention. Moving down to 26116, liquor license renewal application for Catbird Restaurant.
Very going to abstain.
All right. Then since I'm not, I'll make a motion to sign the liquor license for Catbird Restaurant. Again, the license of business in good standing, no issues from the police or fire department.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Sam?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Valerie?
Aye.
I vote aye also. That motion passes 4 with 1 abstention. Let's see if we can do this one with everybody at the table. 26117, liquor license renewal for the Links at Outlook Golf Course. All right, I will make that motion to sign the liquor license for the Links at Outlook. Same story as others. Really good business, good standing, no issues.
Second.
Motion in a second. Any discussion? Sam?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Joel? Mallory? I vote aye also. That motion passes 5-0. Council member comments. Mining, Joel, you get to go first tonight.
Where to start? First off, thank you to everyone on the council for letting me take the sabbatical last week. Wife and I had a baby and it was an unexpected surgery, so that required some extra work. Seconds, if you haven't voted at the playground designs out there in the hallway, there are some really interesting ones, nothing like we actually have in town, which is very, very cool. Also talking with some people here. At some point, I would like to propose to the council for us to do a potential cleanup or something with Shoetown Park. There are a lot of broken toys over there that need to be put somewhere.
That's next on our playground agenda.
Perfect. Then I did just have one letter that I wrote that I wanted just to read, so bear with me all. So this is based on our last meeting that we had. Sometimes it's easier to simply move forward or try to maintain the status quo and not reflect on our actions. While it may be difficult, it is important to acknowledge when something happens. This is focused on our last town council meeting. Rather than push past it, we must learn from it and refocus on serving our community. First, I'd like to acknowledge our town staff, Jen and Monique, and every member works incredibly hard for the town of South Berwick. They deserve a council that supports their work and not one that creates unnecessary distractions. To the South Berwick residents who are all our constituents, since its council began serving together in November, you've witnessed public conflicts, not be coming to the office and trusted to this council. Regardless of where we may stand on these issues, our community deserves professionalism, respect, and thoughtful debate. At the heart of last week's, this 2 weeks ago, this discussion was a communication issue that has come before this county multiple times. Each time we've reached the same conclusion that our policies need to be clear. I gladly took on that task of drafting a solution when asked by the council. The goal was to produce an updated policies and procedures for our internal communication. Despite having completed that, these policies have now been postponed twice. Unfortunately with this, I don't think it serves the council or our community effectively. One thing also I would like to add is that public meetings are a place where we propose, consider, debate, and act on policies and procedures. They are not, it should be where disagreements become personal. Accountability in these seats is essential. It should be grounded in facts, our governing documents, and a shared commitment to solving problems rather than escalating conflict. I want to reiterate my words in our last meeting. I do not support disrespectful comments directed at any member of this council or any department member of the town of South Berwick. At the same time, there's an important distinction between the conduct expected of private citizens and the conduct expected of elected officials. Since being elected, I personally have been criticized, called names, and received harassing phone calls to the point that I never had to be taken off the town's website. None of that is acceptable, but public service comes with public scrutiny, and that is the moment that we live in. Our responsibility is not to respond in kind. Our responsibility is to model the professionalism we expect from others. There was also a topic brought up whether councilors can or should be able to separate their public service from other roles that they hold in the community from being town citizens. I personally believe that our strongest public servants have been business owners, volunteers, coaches, nonprofit leaders, and active members of the South Berwick community. These experiences continue to strengthen our understanding of South Berwick. The goal that I would like us all to be is consistent. With us doing that, we build trust. This is not about one email or one meeting. It's about figuring out how we can make this council operate to the best of its ability. I hope that we can move past this issue. I'm sure our residents would like us to focus on challenges facing South Berwick, such as our budget, economic development, infrastructure, public safety, and planning for the future growth of our town. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. It has been brought to my attention that I missed something on unfinished business, 2637. Town council rules of order and procedures. I apologize. It's been a long day. It goes back to Councilor Flink's proposal for wording for Rule 37. I thought we voted on that.
So, yeah, I made that motion, we voted on it at the last meeting, and then upon reviewing the rules of order, I realized that, Rule 36, I think it is, which is related to amending to, 35 to amend the rules, it states the rules may be amended or new rules adopted by a majority vote of the town council. An amendment must be submitted in writing at a preceding meeting and shall be placed on the agenda under the order of new business. Which I now would see it was not. So anyway, I sent a follow-up to you, Mr. Chair, asking that this be put on the agenda so the wording could be presented and then properly adopted. And that proposed wording is council emails to town staff. All emails between councilors and town staff must include the town manager and council chair.
I'll second it if you're okay with it being an unfinished business.
It has been being talked about, that's why it was.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Sam?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Joel?
Aye.
Mallory?
Aye.
I vote aye also. Motion passes 5-0. Moving back down to council comments. Paul?
Yeah, I have a brief statement that I'd like to make as well regarding the meeting last week and what's happened since. I'll make this available to people if they would like to see it. First, I would like to thank all those who took the time to send emails outlining their issues and concerns surrounding town council relations and our town charter. I have read them and read some of them multiple times. I believe we're at a crossroads in this wonderful town we live in. We elected 3 new council members 8 months ago. We will be electing 2 additional new members this fall. We are seeking a new town manager in a very challenging environment. We have new staff in important positions, and all of this is taking place while we debate the meaning of the town charter, which has governed the community for over 50 years. I wanted to thank Councilor Cook for continuing to raise her concerns about our charter and our rules of conduct. I understand her frustrations over the past months. I also want to thank Chair James for echoing some of those same issues. They have both worked diligently for this community over the past 10 years, and I share many of their concerns. And if I have not been forceful enough in highlighting my own concerns, I will do better. But this is where we are. Councilor Martin submitted changes to our rules of conduct a while ago, and I wanted to thank him for that. And we need to begin deliberation on those changes. Councilor Flintstrom outlined a change last meeting, which we just adopted actually, for our rules, of which is on our agenda tonight, and people have remarked to me that this is also a good first step. But that is what these are. There are some small steps, and yes, one's worth taking, and we need to continue with those. However, to be clear, we cannot legislate and codify every one of our possible actions and all eventualities as counselors. That would be nearly impossible. We are public servants, continually engaging with the public, each other, and the manager. We run businesses. We may be on boards for other organizations. Town staff may be our neighbors, and we may be running for other offices. The question is, will we follow a charter with a council manager form of government that has been in place since 1969 and that has relied strongly on adherence through honesty and transparency and mutual respect? One letter writer perhaps said it best, that it has been maintained that if behavior isn't explicitly prohibited by the rules of order, then it's by definition permitted. I do not necessarily agree with that. That there is an underlying standard of behavior that has been in place for decades and that has been brought to the attention of all counselors. No amount of documentation of rules and regulations will cover every eventuality. The standard should be quite the opposite. If there isn't explicit guidance, then the first move should be to consult the town manager and the council chair. That is what I pledge and I plan and pledge to do. And I would hope this council and our future council will do the same. We need to allow our manager and employees the freedom to do their job without interference. If we are not happy with the performance of our town, our role is to address that with the manager and or the council chair. It is time to get back to governing for this town. That is what we are elected to do and what we have done precious little of most recently. I think we all want to get back to work. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. One of the coins, Mallory.
All set.
Sam.
I didn't write anything, but I will echo. I agree with Joel and Paul on both of your statements, and I appreciate you taking the time to write those. And I also appreciate the emails from the many community members, including ones I've known for a very long time. And I too look forward to honestly continuing to work together, because I think when we do work on council business that is we all know is important to this town and its future, we do work well together. And despite some personal differences that I don't, we all have different personalities, and that's something that we should be leveraging versus the opposite. I want to reaffirm my commitment to being transparent and operating in a manner without conflict, that being perception of conflict of interest or actual conflict of interest. Reaffirm my oath to following the rules and the ordinances of our town, including the charter. And I truly look forward to serving this town for the next, as John reminded me, 2+ years. Also, I look forward to what the active transportation plan, presentation at the next meeting, I think is something that is along the lines of being super important for our town in its future. So I look forward to that. Thank you.
I've got to echo with, I have nothing written either, however, I will echo Sam's comments. When we are working on town business, we do very well at it. We do take the town's interest to heart. It is different this year having 3 new counselors on board. It's a first for me in the 12 years I've been here. Usually it's 1 or 2. Again, a lot of great ideas. We have some growing pains. It's kind of like, you know, any family, there are growing pains. We're working through them. I think we're making some progress. I'm hoping we don't have another council meeting like we had 2 weeks ago, but I think it was needed. Unfortunately, as ugly as it was to the public, I think it's gonna help us move forward in a united way and getting us all on board with each other. So I thank everybody for putting up with that. I appreciate everybody writing all their emails in. They will be included in the packet, as we do with all emails that get sent to us, so they will be there. If we received them later today, they'll most likely be in the last one. There is a cutoff. Monique really has way too much to do to put emails in within 20 minutes of the meeting, even if I ask. Thank you, Monique. But again, thank you to everybody. We will get better. Let us know how you feel, and we'll be listening.
Question. So. Again, Maggie Raymond, so what is the timeline now for getting this document approved? It's
Which document?
the rules and procedure
So
document.
we have one on the table right now that's approved from November.
Okay,
We're actively, we have one that we all agreed to and voted on in November.
okay,
We're just trying to amend it to bring other things up. In that document, nowhere was it written that all communication with town employees should go through the chair and the town manager. That was just inferred. It's been the way it's been since my time here. But in looking for clarity, trying to keep everybody on board, Sam made that motion. It's now there. But again, this is a living document. We are working to one.
okay. At your last meeting, you also said that you might be having a mediated discussion about this document. Is that
Yep.
now, is that going forward or?
It's in the works. We're trying to figure out who we want to use, whether we want to talk to legal, whether we want to reach out to another chair from another town board, stuff like this to see. We're working together. We had a very productive, I thought, earlier meeting in our first executive session. So we're working through it.
Okay, thanks.
With that being said, Hershey told me that we have another question.
It's just a comment. Laura Smith, I don't usually come to these meetings, I'm sorry, but I came because of the information that I received about the last meeting and concerns that I had. All of you are just, seems to me, amazing people who've done a lot of work and really want the best for the town. I feel really bad that you have had the comments, emails that are so awful, and I understand different personalities and respect for each other's, I wouldn't say agenda, but the direction that you want to go in and how you want to do things. And I'm hoping you can continue on this note right now to get better, because you guys have done some wonderful work. I guess the one thing I wanted to say, I was very disappointed that there was an article in the Portland Press Herald about this whole situation. I don't think it was needed. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. And Hershey told me that due to Robert's rules, I can just say we're adjourned, so I'm gonna try that tonight. We're adjourned. See, I learned.